Commander Jasmine Kane stood at the bridge of the ESS Vigilant, watching Earth shrink in the viewport. After 20 years of deep space exploration, humanity had finally made contact with alien life. But not in the way anyone had hoped. The massive holographic display showed the approaching Drachnid fleet, 36 warships, each larger than anything humans had ever built. First contact had come just 6 months ago, when a Drachnid scout ship encountered Earth's Mars colony. The aliens had simply opened fire, destroying the research facility and killing 200 colonists. Status report, Jasmine called out, her dark eyes fixed on the tactical display. Lieutenant Raj Patel's fingers flew across his console. Drachnid fleet maintaining current vector. Estimated time to Earth orbit, 47 minutes. All planetary defense systems are armed and ready. Admiral Marcus Torres appeared on the main screen, his weathered face grim. Commander Kane, your battle group is humanity's first line of defense. The prototype phase shift drives your ships are equipped with are our best advantage. Use them well. Jasmine nodded. The phase shift technology was humanity's greatest achievement, allowing ships to briefly shift into another dimension, becoming completely intangible. It had been designed for faster-than-light travel, but warfare had a way of repurposing technology. Battle group, form up on my position, she ordered. Tactical pattern Delta 7. The 5 ships of her group moved into formation, their sleek hulls gleaming in the starlight. First Officer James Wilson spoke up from his station. Commander, we're picking up some odd energy readings from the Drachnid fleet. They're similar to their weapons signatures, but different somehow. Before Jasmine could respond, space itself seemed to tear open. A massive portal of swirling energy appeared between Earth and the approaching enemy fleet. Through it emerged a ship unlike anything they'd ever seen, organic-looking, with sweeping curves instead of hard angles. It was followed by dozens more. New contacts. Raj shouted. Reading over 50 vessels of unknown configuration. The mysterious ships took up position between Earth and the Drachnids. A transmission came through on all frequencies, translated automatically by their systems. Attention Drachnid Empire forces. This is High Commander Zextal of the Galactic Confederation. Your unprovoked aggression against this developing species will not be tolerated. Stand down immediately or face the consequences. Jasmine exchanged looks with her bridge crew. The Drachnid's response came moments later, a barrage of energy weapons fired directed at both the Confederation ships and the human battle group. All ships, execute phase shift. Jasmine ordered. Her fleet flickered out of normal space just as the energy beams passed through where they had been. The Confederation ships demonstrated their own impressive technology, their shields absorbing the assault without visible damage. What followed was chaos. The space around Earth erupted in a three-way battle unlike anything in human history. The Drachnid ships were powerful but predictable, relying on brute force. The Confederation vessels displayed incredible maneuverability and advanced shields. And Jasmine's small fleet used their phase shift drives to devastating effect, becoming solid just long enough to fire their weapons before shifting away from return fire. Target their flagship's propulsion systems, Jasmine commanded. Time phase shifts with torpedo launches. Let's show them what humanity can do. The battle raged for hours. The combined forces of humanity and the Confederation gradually gained the upper hand. Several Drachnid ships attempted to flee, only to be caught in the crossfire. Finally, the Drachnid flagship itself exploded in a spectacular burst of energy, and the remaining enemy vessels retreated through FTL jumps. As the adrenaline of battle faded, Jasmine realized humanity had just been thrust onto an interstellar stage far bigger than they'd imagined. They'd survived their trial by fire, but this was only the beginning. The Confederation ships were already moving to establish diplomatic contact. She looked at the faces of her crew, tired but proud. They'd proven that humanity could hold its own among the stars. Whatever came next, they would face it together. "Send word to Earth," she ordered. Tell them the galaxy just got a lot more interesting." 6 months after Earth's first interstellar battle, humanity's newest colony faced its own trial by fire. New Eden, orbiting Proxima Centauri, represented humanity's first extrasolar settlement. Now it had become a target. Captain Nikolai Volkov watched from New Eden's defense station as the colony's shield dome rippled with golden energy, a gift from their new Confederation allies. Below, 20,000 colonists continued their work, building humanity's future among the stars. They'd had barely enough time to install the shield before the Drachnid scout ships appeared at the system's edge. "Status of civilian shelters?" Nikolai asked, his Russian accent thickening with stress. Lieutenant Diana Washington checked her monitors. "All civilians accounted for in underground bunkers. The hydroponics facilities are secured, and the fusion reactors are running at optimal capacity." The station's AI, Arya, projected a holographic warning. "Multiple hyperspace signatures detected. Drachnid battle fleet incoming." This time, the Drachnids had come prepared. 30 warships emerged from hyperspace, their hull configurations modified to counter phase shift technology. They'd learned from their defeat at Earth. "They've developed some kind of phase lock technology," reported Chief Engineer Kenzo Tanaka. "Our phase shift drives won't be as effective this time." Nikolai nodded grimly. "Then we adapt. Activate the prototype quantum mines. Deploy defense satellites. And get me Commander Kane." The quantum mines were New Eden's secret weapon, experimental devices that created localized pockets of altered spacetime. Jasmine Kane's battle group was supposed to be en route with Confederation reinforcements, but the colony would have to hold out until they arrived. The Drachnid fleet launched their first assault. Energy beams and plasma torpedoes slammed against New Eden's shield dome. The colony's automated defense systems returned fire, rail guns launching projectiles at relativistic speeds. "Shield integrity at 87%, Arya reported. Enemy vessels attempting to establish optimal firing positions." Nikolai watched as the quantum mines activated, creating spheres of distorted space around key enemy vessels. The Drachnid's advanced sensors hadn't detected the cloaked weapons until it was too late. 3 of their ships found themselves trapped in temporal bubbles, their weapons fire moving in slow motion. "Clever toys," a gravelly voice transmitted on all frequencies. "But not enough, humans. Your colony will fall, and with it, humanity's dreams of expansion." Admiral Kravnak, Nikolai recognized the Drachnid commander's voice. "Still bitter about Earth?" "This isn't about Earth," Kravnak replied. "This is about preventing another threat to galactic order. Humanity advances too quickly, adapts too readily. You must be contained." A new volley of fire hammered the shields. Power fluctuated throughout the colony as the defense grid struggled to compensate. But even as systems strained, Nikolai noticed something the Drachnids had missed: faint energy signatures approaching from behind the system's star. "Hold position," he ordered his forces. "Maintain defensive pattern. Protection of the civilian sectors is priority 1." The battle intensified. 2 Drachnid destroyers breached the outer defense perimeter, their weapons chewing through satellite coverage. The quantum mines had trapped or destroyed 7 enemy vessels, but more pressed forward. Shield integrity dropped to 45%. Then, just as New Eden's defenses seemed about to buckle, space lit up with new arrivals. Commander Kane's battle group dropped out of phase shift, accompanied by 5 Confederation cruisers. They emerged directly behind the Drachnid fleet, catching them in a devastating crossfire. "Sorry we're late," Jasmine's voice came through clear and confident. "Had to pick up some friends along the way." The tide turned quickly. The Drachnids found themselves caught between New Eden's remaining defenses and the combined Human Confederation fleet. Their phase-lock technology meant nothing against the Confederation's advanced weapons, and they hadn't counted on the quantum mines. Admiral Krovnok's flagship turned to retreat, but a precisely placed mine caught it in a temporal field. The massive vessel hung suspended, trapped between moments as its crew experienced mere seconds while hours passed outside. When the battle ended, 13 Drachnid ships had been destroyed, 7 were trapped in temporal stasis, and the rest had fled. New Eden's shield dome had held, though it would need extensive repairs. Most importantly, no civilian casualties had been reported. "The Drachnids underestimated us again," Nikolai remarked as he met with Jasmine and the Confederation commanders in the aftermath. "They think containing humanity is the answer. They fear what they cannot control," said Zarin, the Confederation tactical advisor. "Your species' rate of technological advancement is unprecedented. The phase shift drive, these quantum mines, you achieved in decades what took others centuries. Perhaps that's why the Confederation chose to ally with us," Jasmine suggested. "You saw potential where the Drachnids saw threat." "We saw kindred spirits," Zarin corrected. "Now, we must prepare. The Drachnids will return, and next time, they will bring their full might to bear." Looking out at the colony below, its shield dome still shimmering with power, Nikolai knew humanity would be ready. New Eden had survived its baptism by fire, and in doing so, had proved that humanity's future among the stars could not be denied. The Galactic Confederation's Grand Assembly Hall dwarfed anything humanity had built. Captain Raven Mitchell stood before representatives of 17 spacefaring species, her dark skin gleaming under the crystalline lights. As Earth's diplomatic liaison, she had one chance to secure humanity's future. "The Drachnids don't just threaten Earth," she addressed the assembly. "Their recent attacks prove they'll target any species that challenges their vision of galactic order. We propose a joint defense initiative." High Commander Zextal's bioluminescent tendrils pulsed with approval, but other representatives showed skepticism. The Vrax delegate, an entity of pure energy contained within an environmental suit, spoke next. "Humans advance too rapidly. Your phase shift technology and quantum weapons demonstrate this. Perhaps the Drachnids' concerns have merit. Our rapid advancement is precisely why you need us," Raven countered. "The Drachnids are adapting their tactics. Their phase-lock technology nearly overwhelmed New Eden. Together, we can innovate faster than they can counter." The assembly erupted in discussion. Through her neural translator, Raven caught fragments of debate. Some feared human unpredictability. Others saw potential. The crystalline Ninthari were particularly intrigued by human quantum mechanics theories. An alert flashed across the assembly's holographic displays. Admiral Torres's face appeared, his expression grave. "Drachnid forces have launched simultaneous attacks on 3 Confederation worlds. They're using some kind of new weapon, it's shutting down shield systems across entire planets." The assembly fell silent. Zextal's tendrils darkened. "They've developed resonance cascade technology. Our standard defenses are useless." "Not useless," Raven interjected. "Different frequency." She activated her neural link to Earth's quantum computing network. "Our scientists theorized this possibility. We've been developing countermeasures." She transmitted technical specifications to the assembly's shared network. Phase shift technology can be modified to create localized bubble shields operating on quantum frequencies. The Drachnids can't disrupt what they can't predict. Implementation would take weeks, the Vrax delegate objected. "Not with human manufacturing techniques," Raven smiled. "Give us access to your industrial facilities. We'll have the first units ready in 48 hours. The assembly erupted again, but this time with purpose. The Ninthari offered their crystalline computation arrays. The Vrax pledged their energy manipulation expertise. Even the biotechnological Mrith, usually isolationists, volunteered their organic engineering capabilities. Within hours, a new alliance was born. Humanity's innovative spirit combined with Confederation resources created something unprecedented. Manufacturing centers across 17 worlds began producing hybrid shield generators. Commander Kane's fleet, now integrated with Confederation forces, deployed to protect vulnerable systems. The Drachnids hadn't expected such rapid adaptation. Their resonance cascade weapons found themselves countered by shields that existed in multiple quantum states simultaneously. When they adjusted tactics, they faced new human-designed quantum mines modified with 9-theory crystal technology. But the true victory came in ways no one expected. Cultural exchange flourished alongside technological collaboration. Humans learned Vrax energy manipulation techniques, while Confederation species studied human art, music, and literature. The Mrith became particularly fascinated by human cooking, leading to remarkable advances in bioengineering. "Your species catalyzes change," Zextal told Raven as they watched the first joint Human Confederation shipyard take shape. "You don't just adapt, you inspire adaptation in others." "We've had to," Raven replied. "Earth's history is full of challenges that forced us to innovate or perish. Now we face those challenges among the stars." The Assembly's final vote was unanimous. Humanity would receive full Confederation membership, with unprecedented autonomy to continue their technological development. In return, human innovation would help drive Confederation advancement. As Raven prepared to return to Earth with the treaty, she received one last transmission. The Drachnids had withdrawn from Confederation space entirely, retreating to their core systems. But intercepted communications suggested they were building something massive. The war wasn't over. It was evolving. But now, humanity wouldn't face it alone. Deep in Drachnid space, the stealth vessel Shadow Dancer slipped between patrol routes. Its experimental hybrid hull, combining human phase shift technology with Mrith biocamouflage, rendered it nearly undetectable. Inside, Lieutenant Kai Wong checked his tactical display one final time. Approaching insertion point, he whispered to his mixed crew. Beside him, Zarin's crystalline form shifted colors in acknowledgement, while Vrax energy specialist Clara maintained their stealth field. Intelligence had confirmed the Drachnids were constructing a superweapon capable of generating artificial black holes. Operation Stardust aimed to prevent its completion. The Shadow Dancer's biohull pulsed as they passed through a detection grid. Their Mrith engineer, Vex, merged consciousness with the ship's systems, adjusting their camouflage in real time. They'd trained 6 months for this mission, combining the best talents of 4 species. Security patrol approaching, Clara's energy form flickered. Their sensors are more advanced than predicted. Kai activated their quantum variance drive, shifting them slightly out of phase. The patrol passed through their location, missing them by molecules. But the energy expenditure had consequences. "We can't maintain both phase shift and biocamouflage indefinitely," Vex reported through the ship's neural interface. "The hybrid systems are reaching critical strain." The massive Drachnid construction facility loomed ahead. Its sprawling structure housed laboratories, shipyards, and at its core, the prototype weapon. Kai had studied the facility's defenses for weeks, but seeing it in person was different. The scale was overwhelming. "New problem," Zarin announced. "They're using quantum entanglement sensors. If we phase shift again, they'll detect the local spacetime distortion." Kai smiled. "Then we don't shift. We adapt." He initiated the Shadow Dancer's secondary protocol, a technique combining Vrax energy manipulation with human quantum mechanics. Instead of shifting out of phase, they merged with the facility's own energy signature. The docking procedure was seamless. Using forged credentials based on intercepted Drachnid transmissions, they gained access to the maintenance sectors. The team split into pairs, Kai and Zarin headed for the central computer core while Clara and Vex targeted the weapon's containment systems. Remember, Kai transmitted through their secure neural link, "We need proof of their intentions before we act. The Confederation Council requires evidence." They found more than expected. The central computer revealed plans not just for the black hole weapon, but for systematic attacks on all advanced civilizations. The Drachnids meant to reset galactic development, forcing evolution along their approved paths. Upload complete, Zarin confirmed. But security protocols are activating. They've detected the data breach. Alarms blared. The facility's internal defenses activated, filling corridors with energy fields calibrated against both phase shift technology and Confederation shields. But they hadn't counted on Vex's biological innovations. The Mrith engineer interfaced directly with the Shadow Dancer, extending its biocamouflage through the maintenance systems. Walls became fluid, allowing the team to move through them as security forces rushed past. Weapon containment reached, Clara reported. Initiating overload sequence. But we have a problem, the failsafes are biological. They're using engineered organisms to regulate the black hole generation. Can you bypass them? Kai asked, leading Zarin through another liquid wall. Negative. But Vex says she can communicate with them. The Drachnids based the organisms on Mrith genetic patterns. It was a race against time. As Vex convinced the biological computers to accept new commands, Kai and Zarin fought their way back through increasingly heavy resistance. The Drachnids had deployed their elite guards, warriors cybernetically enhanced to counter both human and Confederation abilities. "Ship secure," Clara announced. But launch window closing. Facility defenses powering up. They reached the Shadow Dancer just as Vex completed her reprogramming. The biological failsafes wouldn't just shut down the weapon, they would transform it, using its own power source to collapse the entire facility into a controlled quantum singularity. The escape was chaos. Drachnid ships converged from all directions as the facility began to implode. The Shadow Dancer's hybrid systems were failing, its bio-hull stressed beyond design limits. But they had one last trick. "All power to quantum variance," Kai ordered. "Vex, disconnect from ship systems. Clara, channel everything through the phase matrix." The Shadow Dancer didn't shift out of phase. Instead, it rode the quantum wake of the facility's collapse, using the gravitational distortion to slingshot them beyond the Drachnid fleet's reach. When they emerged from the quantum slipstream, the facility had vanished into a pinpoint of darkness. Their mission was successful, but the cost was high. The Shadow Dancer would never fly again, its revolutionary systems burned out from the escape. Yet they had achieved something greater than destroying a weapon. They had proved that true strength came not from individual capabilities, but from combining them in ways no one expected. As Confederation rescue ships approached their position, Kai looked at his diverse crew, human, Confederation, and hybrid technology working as one. The real victory wasn't just surviving. It was showing the galaxy what unity could achieve. The Drachnid home system blazed with weapons fire. Commander Jasmine Kane watched from the ESS Vigilance Bridge as the largest fleet battle in galactic history unfolded. The intelligence from Operation Stardust had revealed the Drachnid's ultimate plan. They had more superweapon facilities, already nearing completion. Multiple quantum signatures detected, Raj reported. They're deploying their remaining black hole generators. The combined human Confederation fleet moved in perfect synchronization. Ships of all species had been modified with hybrid technology, human phase shift drives merged with Confederation shields and Mrith bioarmor. They were about to need every advantage. "This ends today," Jasmine transmitted to all allied ships. "Execute Formation Omega." Space itself seemed to bend as the Drachnid weapons activated. But they faced something unprecedented, a fleet that could exist in multiple quantum states simultaneously. Captain Raven Mitchell had proposed the strategy, combining human quantum mechanics theories with Vrax energy manipulation. The battle unfolded across 11 dimensions. Drachnid warships found themselves engaging enemies that were both there and not there, their targeting systems confused by ships that existed in quantum superposition. But the strain on the hybrid ships was immense. Hull integrity failing on secondary fleet, Admiral Torres reported. The quantum field is destabilizing their molecular structure. Hold position, Jasmine ordered. Nikolai, status of the primary weapon? From his position coordinating the ground assault on the Drachnid homeworld, Captain Volkov's voice crackled through. Quantum core primed. Zarin's team has reached the planetary defense grid. But we've lost contact with Kai's squad. The plan was ambitious, using the Drachnid's own quantum technology against them. While the space battle drew their forces, strike teams had infiltrated key facilities on their homeworld. Their goal: reprogram the planetary defense grid to generate a quantum containment field. Enemy flagship detected, Raj announced. Admiral Kravnak is leading their counterattack. The massive Drachnid vessel emerged from their defense lines, its hull bristling with weapons that could tear apart spacetime. But Jasmine had anticipated this. The ESS Vigilant disengaged from the main fleet, its experimental systems humming with power. You've lost, Kravnak, she transmitted. Your own people are turning against you. We've seen the proof, your leadership has been lying about human aggression for years. Our society requires order, Kravnak's response boomed across all frequencies. The galaxy cannot survive chaos. Your species represents entropy itself. No, Jasmine countered. We represent adaptation. Evolution. And we're not alone. The signal came from the planet's surface, Zarin's team had succeeded. The planetary defense grid activated, but not as the Drachnids intended. A quantum field expanded outward, encompassing their entire fleet. Within it, the laws of physics became fluid. Now, Lieutenant Wong. Kai's squad hadn't been lost, they'd reached their target. Deep within the Drachnid homeworld, they activated a device combining all their species' technologies. The quantum field resonated at precisely calculated frequencies, interfacing with every piece of Drachnid quantum technology simultaneously. The effect was beautiful and terrifying. Ships, weapons, and facilities phased in and out of reality, their quantum matrices rewriting themselves. When the field stabilized, the Drachnid fleet remained intact, but fundamentally changed. Their quantum weapons had been transformed into something new. What have you done? Kravnak demanded. Showed you a better way, Jasmine replied. Your weapons now generate quantum fields that enhance communication and cooperation between species. We didn't come to destroy you. We came to help you evolve. The war ended not with destruction, but transformation. The Drachnid society, faced with undeniable proof of their leaders' deceptions and a demonstration of true cooperation, began to change. Their technology, once meant for dominance, became tools for connection. Months later, Jasmine stood in the Galactic Confederation's assembly hall beside representatives of all species, including the newly admitted Drachnids. The cost had been high, many ships and lives lost to achieve this peace. But they had proved something extraordinary. The universe is vast, she addressed the assembly. But it's not our differences that define us. It's how we choose to overcome them. Together. The alliance that had formed in crisis became permanent. Human innovation, Confederation wisdom, and even Drachnid order found balance. They had not just won a war, they had changed the course of galactic civilization. As the new era began, ships of all species set out together to explore the unknown. Among them was the ESS Unity, its crew drawn from every civilization, ready to face whatever challenges awaited among the stars. They had learned that true strength came not from conquering differences, but from embracing them.